स्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुकारस्त्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We have been looking at the section which describes Jnaya Vastu. Jnaya Vastu is what? Param Brahma. Nothing else. Because whatever you know, there is more to know. Anything you know, there is more and more to know. And the more you know, the less you know. So you can know more and more of less and less. Two options are there. You can know more and more of what? Less and less and less. Or you can know less and less and less of more and more and more. This is expertise. In the world, this is the form of expertise. No other expertise is possible. So, in order to get out of that conundrum, all that is there is to know that because of which everything is as well known. Knowing that, then one automatically becomes what is that called? Sarvajna. And this is exactly what is Sarvajnatvam. Knowing that I am that adhisthana, I am non-separate from that adhisthana, the substance, the truth upon which this whole apparition called the universe is put on. So the next few verses are extremely, paradoxical. And they remind us of what we encountered in the 9th chapter, Matsthani Sarvabhutani, and in the very next breath, Nacha Matsthani Sarvabhutani, Paschame Yogamaishwaram. Similar here. Because the Upanishad wants you to be dancing, the mind to be dancing. If it sits and rests in one place, then we have to put a sign on the mind, rest in peace. That's all. R.I.P. we have to say. Why? Because there is, it cannot get comfortable. Comfortable means it starts to objectify that which is not an object. So this is how to understand that which is not an object. We saw the 12th verse. What was that? Jnayam yad uparakshami, and then amrutam ashnute anadimat param brahma sattannasatam sattannasat taduchyate. So it's neither sat nor asat. Asat here means karana, because it is invisible. And then sat means karya, effect. And so that which upon which causality is superimposed, that upon which the effect is superimposed. Effect is what? Brahman. Cause is what? Brahman. So cause and effect are what? Brahman. How can cause and effect both be Brahman? Because Brahman is neither cause nor effect. That is what was pointed out. Then from the 13 to 18, same thing, same exact theme is going to be there, very, very beautiful. And it is just, it just boggles the mind, and it's very, very enjoyable to study. Okay, so we will chant that. No, 13th verse is also we did. No, we haven't done that. We have to do that, yeah. Sarvatah panipadam tat sarvatokshikshiro mukham sarvatah shrutimaloke sarvamavritya tishtati. We will chant one more also. All of them will chant. Sarvendriya gunabhasam Sarvendriya vivarjitam Asaktam sarvabhritchaiva Nirgunam gunabhoktrucha Bahirantascha bhutanam Acharam charameva cha Sukshmatvat tadavijneyam Durasthan chantike cha tat Avibhaktan cha bhuteshu Vibhaktam iva cha sthitam Bhuta bhartru cha tadnyeyam Grasishnu prabha vishnu cha Jyotishamapi tajyotihi Tamasah paramuchyate Jnanam jneyam jnanagamyam Hridi sarvasya vishtitam Iti kshetram tatha jnanam Jneyam choktam samasatah Madbhakta etad vijñāya Madbhāvāyopapadyate. This is the whole section. And I wanted us to chant it because you can, even if you don't understand much Sanskrit, you can see Bahihi Antaha, and neither Bahi nor Antaha. All these things are very beautiful. So this one is describing Ishvara. How does, what is Ishvara like? And so Sarvataha means everywhere. What? Pani Padam Tat. It is everywhere. Every leg is Bhagavan's leg. Every hand, Bhagavan's hand. So everywhere, all legs and hands, Bhagavan's legs and hands. And then, only legs and hands? What about face? Face also. Mukham. And what about eyes? Akshi. And Sarvatokshi. And what about head? Shiraha. Everything. All heads are Bhagavan's head. And don't just think of people. Think of funny shaped heads of various creatures in the universe. Earthworm's head. From the earthworm's head to the Lord Brahmaji's head. All the heads are what? Bhagavan. No head other than Bhagavan. It's directly taken from Purusha Sukta, we can see. Purusham evedagam sarvam. Sahasra shirsha. Sahasra path. Everything. And then, but even in the Purusha Sukta, when we chant, we see that there is something. Sahasrashirshav Purushah Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva Atyatishtat Dashangulam. So having pervaded the universe, there is something that is beyond. Even in the Purusha Sukta, we come across this whole beyond concept. To understand that, we should understand that it should not be beyond the understanding. It can be beyond, but not beyond understanding. So this is what we have to see. So same thing. So in the first line, Sarvatah Panipadam Tat Sarvatokshi Shiromukham. What about ears? Sarvatah Shrutimat. Where? In all the lokas. In the loka, Shrutimat means that which has ears. Shrutimat, which goes with Brahman. Okay, the Shrutimat is neuter, which has Brahman. And then what does it do? Sarvam avritya tishtati. Sarvam avritya tishtati. Pervading everything, it is there. It pervades everything as it is. Tishtati means what? Stands, sits, but then when immediately we think of a location. Tishtati without location. And to understand this, and then the very next verse, we'll take these two verses and then we'll just look at the translation and then I will explain. So here, this is called Adhyaropa. We saw this technique, pedagogical method. Adhyaropa means what? You put all the qualities, attributes on that which is free of all attributes, and then what do you do? Then having understood that from this standpoint, you naturally remove the attributes. Apavada. So the Adhyaropa, we are not putting the attributes, it's already there. So every year is Bhagavan, everything is Bhagavan. This is talked by the Shastra at length. It's already there. And so we are not putting everything or taking out everything. Any putting or taking out is happening how? Only conceptually. Cognitively we are taking it out to understand. This is what the thing is. So here in the 13th verse again we have Adhyaropa. By recognizing Bhagavan as Jagat Karanam Brahma, as that which is the cause of the universe. And what is the cause of the universe? The cause of the universe will be non-separate from that which is the effect, because the effect is non-separate from the cause. Karya is Karana, Karana is not Karya. So then we look at it from the standpoint of the Karya. Every leg is what? Not separated. It's all Brahman alone, Brahman, Brahman. This is what is called Adhyaropa. And in the same breath, Apavada is done in the next, in the next ones it will be saying that this is Apavada will be done in the second line of the next verse. So going to translate the next verse, Sarvendriya Gunabhasam. Guna Abhasam. So Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, that all the Indriyas, the functions of all the Indriyas are because of who? Ishvara sees through many eyes. Ishvara hears through many ears. Ishvara touches through many skins. This is how it is, and on and on. Sarvendriya Gunabhasam. And that is possible why? Sarvendriya Vivarjitam. Free of all gunas. So, free of all gunas, and then, but at the same time, enjoying all the gunas. And then Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, Sarvendriya Vivarjitam, free of all Indriyas, therefore free of all gunas. Because the Indriyas objectify what? The gunas. Free of all gunas because free of all Indriyas. Every Indriya, every sense organ is Bhagavan's sense organ, but Bhagavan is free of what? All sense organs. Bhagavan is free of all sense organs, and every sense organ belongs to what? Bhagavan alone, but at the same time free of all sense organs. So asaktam. Asaktam means what? Free, not involved. There is no involvement. Asanga. So past passive participle of asanga, asakta. Asanga, the quality of non-involvement. Asakta, the person who is not involved. So this Brahman, not involved. Not involved in all the vyavahara, indriya vyavahara. All the vyavahara means the actions of the sense organs. But without Brahman, no sense organ can work. Nothing works. Prana cannot work, sense organs cannot work, eyes cannot light up anything, because all that is there is what? That light of consciousness, which is Bhagavan. And so here, very beautiful. So this is, many minute things are there, we will see after the translation. So asaktam, but at the same time sarvabhrit. Sarvabhrit means what? The protector, the sustainer of everything. Whatever is there sustains. Again, the word sustains we can gloss over, we can just protector, sustainer, destroyer, we keep thinking like this. Creator, sustainer, destroyer. Sustainer means just not an action, by the very presence because of which something is. That is called sustainer. Okay? So, sustainer and sustains everything. Sarvabhrit chaiva. Guna bhoktru. Guna bhoktru means enjoys the gunas, enjoys all the nama rupatmakam jagat. Through what? Through the sense organs. Of whose? Ours. You know. But at the same time what? Free of gunas. Gunavarjitam. Why? Why does Ishvara experience everything? Ishvara experience everything because Ishvara ultimately does not experience anything. But Ishvara is non-separate from the experiencer who is what? You. So this is just like a nice merry-go-round. You know, after merry-go-round, when you get down, what do you feel? A little dizzy. It's a nice experience, but a little bit disoriented and dizzy one feels. And if you are feeling that, it's a good sign. It's because that means that whatever is in the head is being cleaned out, because that is how Brahman has to be recognized. You cannot have all the things already in the head and then also have all these paradoxical ideas, concepts. So, to understand this, we have to see a few things. This requires some background. The background is as follows. See, for example, we have, when we look at science, we find that they are also trying to get to the root of everything. That is what, if in physics, in biology, in chemistry, everything, they want to go to the root of everything. And then we can see that as they go deeper and deeper and deeper, the visible becomes invisible. The tangible becomes intangible. Then what was thought to be concrete becomes abstract. These three things are there. And then, so therefore, from even looking at science, even inferentially speaking, we see that that is where the research is headed. That's why all the Nobel Prizes this time, physics, chemistry, etc., was given for small things. But I told you this earlier. What was that? Attosecond. Attosecond. What is this? What is this attosecond? The Nobel Prize in Physics is shared by 3 physicists who discovered this attosecond. Attosecond is to 1 second as to 1 second is to the whole universe, 14 billion years. So this is the attosecond. Attosecond to 1 second, if you compare, what is the distance between time frame between attosecond and second, if you ask, then it will be the same as 1 second to the start of the universe. Think about that. So small, ubiquitous. Nobody wants clunky things. I mean, look at our computers. The first IBM computer, huge, you needed half a room and 2-3 fans to keep it going. Now what? Tablet. And it will become smaller. Tablet will become the size of the multivitamin tablet that we swallow. I think that's where it is headed. And so this is what it's all becoming small, and the smaller it is, the more pervasive it is. Think about all the pulses and the Wi-Fi. Where is this Wi-Fi? It is everywhere. Tiny little, network. And so too, this is not something unusual to Vedanta at all. Vedanta has already understood that which is the adhisthana of the universe is definitely invisible and abstract, not concrete, intangible by the sense organs. This we have already seen. So this is point number 1. Point number 2 is that how to know this intangible, invisible thing. There is no other way to know it except as oneself. That itself is kind of abstract. How to know it as me becomes a very big project. Very big project. How to know this as myself? How am I going to understand? And so for this, we have all these pedagogical techniques. And so the pedagogical technique, the first pedagogical technique is to understand that our language is all upside down. Our language goes along with our ajnanam. So the language reproduces the ajnanam. How? See, we have certain words that are nouns, and we have certain words that are adjectives. Like, for example, if I say thin man, tall woman, okay? Thin man, tall woman, red apple. In these, which is the noun? Man, woman, apple. Which is the adjective? Tall, thin, red. Okay? So then I have a few other words like golden bangle, wooden table, wooden chair. Here what is the substantive? What is the noun? This is the problem. This is the problem. So we think it's on the same, like thin man. Man is the noun, thin is the adjective. Golden is the adjective because that's how it is golden. Bangle is what? Noun. Wooden, again adjective. That's why made of wood. Attribute. That is the attribute. And then the chair or the table is what? Noun. If we go along like this, Brahman will never be understood. Because Brahman is not an attribute. Not an attribute. And even in this example, wooden table, it looks like the table is an attribute. Table is the substantive and wood is the attribute. Is wood the attribute?
No.
The attribute means it can be removed. Can you remove wood and give me the table? No. I'll have an invisible table in my hands. We have to table that proposition immediately because we cannot have a table without a substance. So instead of noun, now we will use the word substantive. So what is the substantive in wooden table? Wood is the substantive. Table is what? Adjective. An attribute of the wood. Similarly, bangle is an adjective which means an attribute of what? Gold or some imitation metal. It's an attribute of that metal. And again, we have to ask, what kind of attribute is it? Two kinds of attributes are there. Intrinsic and incidental. If the wood becomes, if the table is intrinsic to wood, then any form of wood that we will be seeing is only in the form of table. If you want anything else, too bad. No, but I want a Krishna figurine. Stand up the table and do arati to it, that's all. No other option remains. Because each time I look at wood, what will it look like?
Table.
Table. So even the tree will look like a long table with some leaves. So this is not how it is. This is not at all how it is. So therefore we have to reverse it. And so what do we say? That the table is an incidental expression or an incidental attribute of the wood. Because the wood can be like a wonderful, flower vase. Wood can be Krishna figurine. Wood can be plate. Wood can be spoon. Wood can be lid. Wood can be cup. So many things. If it could, it would be in so many forms. So therefore, from the standpoint of the form, when we speak of the substance, the substantive, the form is an incidental expression of the substance. And take again the bangle and the gold. Is all gold in the form of bangles? No, it cannot be. Because it exists in the form of biscuits, bars, and chain, ring, so many things. And then it exists in so many various forms. But what is all of it? Gold. So the gold is, what is gold? Gold is not the adjective. Golden bangle. That's why Pujya Swamiji always used to say, don't say golden bangle. What should you say? Bangly gold. Bangly gold, because this is the truth. The knowledge reproduces the ajnana. This is the truth. Bangly gold. No, but I have a ring, ringy gold. No, but I have a chain, chainy gold. This is what it is. Clay pot, same thing. Except we can't call it potty clay. That will give a different this thing. Don't say that. That's why we confine the example to gold. Okay? And other stuff we can't articulate. This is for when you start teaching. Okay? So don't give that example. This is a teaching tip. All right? And so don't give that example. It's not fun. And so same thing we can do with wood. Tably wood, not wooden table. Cherry wood, tably wood. Krishna-y wood, in the form of Krishna. But then, can we say the same relationship is there for the object? No. Because from the standpoint of the wood, the table is an incidental expression. But from the standpoint of the table, wood is intrinsic to its very being. It is not incidental. Incidental means what? Ayaram, gayaram, ane, jane, wala, that which goes and comes. This for the table, the wood cannot come and go. Wood cannot come and go. From the standpoint of the pot, clay is intrinsic to the pot. From the standpoint of clay, pot is an incidental expression of clay. This we have to understand. And then when we take it to the Darshtanta, from the standpoint of all Namarupas, all words, all meanings, Brahman is what? Intrinsic to their very existence. Nothing exists without Brahman. When you say is, pot is, flower is, that is Brahman. Flower is, the is Brahman. And then but from the standpoint of Brahman, all these attributes, all these properties are what? Incidental expressions. Without any of them, Ishvara still is. Ishvara always is. And so therefore, when I say, for now look at the next point. When I say flower, what? Is. We think that the isness is an attribute to the flower. No. Isness is intrinsic to the flower. But from the standpoint of is, which is Brahman, the only thing that is Brahman. And from the standpoint of Ishvara, Brahman, flower is what? incidentally is. As though is. Incidental here means as though. As though, as though, as though. So then when we look at these two verses, all legs belong to whom? Bhagavan. All eyes, all ears, all sense organs belong to whom? Bhagavan. Ishvara. But then that means what? Every time all heads belong to whom? Ishvara. That means every time somebody has a headache, and there are 8 billion, we are just talking of human beings, and there are 8 billion heads, okay? Then Ishvara will need what? A whole factory full of dolo, okay? Whole dolo factory you have to give to Ishvara. Because such a big headache, because at any given point in time, how many people's heads are aching? Only heads. How many people have eye issues? How many people's ear is paining? Right now, if we take a survey, instant survey, there will be millions of people. How many people's legs are aching? How many people's back is hurting? How many people's hands are aching? And so Ishvara will be totally out of commission. And then you have to say, that's why Lakshmi is always pressing the legs. Sarvataf pani padam tat. No, wrong. As though. Otherwise Ishvara will be totally burdened. And the most stressed out being because of all the worries, because not only the head is Ishvara, what is in the head is also Ishvara. And what is in every jiva's head? Worry and complaints. That's all. So then Ishvara will be a huge, colossal bunch of complaints. But that's not the case. Why? Sarvendriya vivarjitam. As though everything is Ishvara. Just like as though when we talk of like wooden table. So from the standpoint of the wood, if you ask the wood, is the table you? Yeah, of course. Table cannot exist without me, it will say. But are you the table? No, I am not table. So from the standpoint of Ishvara, are you what about all the legs? Are the legs you? Yes. Legs, hands, eyes, everything is me. Then what? Then the next thing, are you the leg? I am not the leg. Every leg cannot exist without me. I am not in any of them. Nacha matsthani bhutani. Bhuta bhrit. Nacha bhutasthaha. This is very important. We have already seen this in the 9th chapter. Bhuta bhrit. Nacha bhutasthaha. So, because this is exactly what the thing is. Okay? So I am hoping this much is understood. Yes? Say yes even if you don't want to. Okay. Then the next thing we have to see after this is again very involved and very beautiful. The question naturally comes, why should I know Bhagavan through the hands and through the legs and through the eyes and through the head? Why can't I know pure Ishvara? Pureshvara. Why can't I know pure Ishvara? Pure consciousness. What? Nama Rupa Rahita Brahma. Nama Rupa Rahitam Brahma I want. I want Brahman without name. I want Brahman without form. I want to experience that. Is that possible? No. Up to Abba, thank God. Yes, we all know that much. It's not possible. Why? Because that what you want to experience, you are already experiencing. In and through every thought, just like Ishvara is experiencing everything as though, you are also experiencing everything without really experiencing anything. That Atma is Upalabdhi Swarupa. Nityopalabdhi Swarupoham Atma. Hastamalakiya. Hastamalakiya Stotra. Hastamalaka is student of Adi Shankara. Haste Amalaka Iva. Just like the fruit. Amla fruit dropping into his hand, he knew he knew everything. He was a boy who did not speak, and the parents in those days, they did not take him to speech therapist, they took him to Guru instead. And the Guru just said, Kahatvam balaha. Kastvam bala. Who are you? Oh child. And he had not spoken till then, and then he composed extempore these 27 or odd verses of Hastamalaka Stotra. The refrain of it is Sanityopalabdhi Swarupo Hamatma. I am that Atma whose Swarupa is Nitya Upalabdhi, always available. Alupta Drik, we saw that yesterday. Alupta Drik. Never absent, always present, always here, always now, ever fresh, yet timeless. Puranaha. Puraha eva navascha. Puranaha. And so, this is what the Atma is. Nitya Upalabdhi Swarupa. In and through every thought, what is there? Atma. Who is the thinker? Atma. What is the object of the thought? Atma. And what is this Atma? Brahman. Because there is no two things. The only Atma that is there happens to be Brahman. We have to deal with that. That's what it is. And so, even if this is kind of abstract, like why can't I still, there is a longing to just have that experience of Brahman. I know Brahman, but I have to experience it. This is something, there is a kind of a spiritual romanticism to want to experience Brahman. And so, for that, I will say something like, what can we say? Bring me some water, if I say. And then what will you do? What will you do? You will bring me a glass of water. And then I'll say, I never asked for the glass. I want only water. I didn't ask for the glass. Go bring me water. Are you able to do that? Or maybe a very devoted Shishya will bring dripping in the hand little bit. But I'll say, I didn't ask for the hand. I only want water. Can you? So then, there is no other option. You have to bring water what? In a cup or glass or some container. Correct? And then what will I do? Will I drink the container? No. I will drink the water, give you back the container, or if it is disposable cup, I will throw away the container, recycle the container. Similarly, this pure Brahman is understood and enjoyed and quote-unquote experienced in and through and due to the upadhis. Every upadhi is like a container that brings the water which has no shape, no form. Similarly here, Brahman, that which has no shape, no form, no being, has to necessarily be experienced in and through all the names, forms and beings. This is what is called quote-unquote outside. There is no outside, inside. Outside is Brahman, inside is Brahman. Distance between outside, inside is also what? Brahman. Outside means what? Oh, away from these walls. Let's say all the walls drop. Then where are we sitting? On the terrace. Okay? Then again outside means what? Then inside means what? Then the ashram gates become the perimeter. I am inside first I was what? Inside the room. Then I am inside the ashram gates. Then let's say the gates also drop. And the walls also, those walls also drop. Then I am inside Rishikesh, you have to say. Then let's say there is no barriers to Rishikesh and the nearby towns. Then I have to say I am inside Uttarakhand. Let's say we rub off the lines that talk about Uttarakhand. Then what? I am in India. Let's say India also, those lines are gone. I am on earth. What is earth? Okay? Same thing, we can go on and on. I am in space. Space also is what? Without space. There is no such thing. So this is what, so from the standpoint of the quote-unquote external jagat, what do we have? We have these namarupas, legs, hands, names, forms, etc. There is also an internal jagat. What does the internal jagat comprise? In internal jagat, what is inside? The antahkarana. What is inside the antahkarana? Thoughts. You have a rich thought world. So many thoughts. colliding against each other, they all come. Sometimes it feels like there are more than one at one time. So, but there are so many thoughts. And what is all the thoughts? What are all the thoughts? Brahman. The distance between one thought and another thought, sustained by Brahman, arising in the presence of Brahman and collapsing again due to the presence of Brahman. And as though attribute of Brahman, all the thoughts. And then the one who is the invariable in all the thoughts, the thinker, meaning the truth of the thinker, the content of the thinker, is who? Brahman, which is what? I. So this is very important. So now if this much is understood, we can go to the next step. Oh, there is also another step? Yes, there is. And so what is the next step? From the standpoint of the Jagat, the things which I call outside, which is again a very big spoof, as we have seen. From the standpoint of the Jagat, things which are outside, then we see again within apostrophes, we as though look at the universe from the standpoint of what? Sat. Asti, asti, asti iti upalabhyate. The whole Jagat, if we can reduce it to one word, it is. Leg is, hand is, eye is, nose is, skin is. Everything is. Asti, asti iti upalabhyate. From the standpoint of Sat. Okay? Then when that Jagat is loaded into the Antahkarana, Buddhau, in the Buddhi, then how is it experienced? Asti, yes. But along with Asti, there is also one more thing. Bhati, Chit. Chit. Here also Asti Bhati, you cannot separate the two. But primarily, it's easy to objectify the Asti, Astita, through the objects. In the Jagat that is there, that we perceive. But as soon as the perception takes place and the perceived object, there is no soon after. It's all happening timelessly, seamlessly, but just for the sake of talking, we have to say 1, 2, 3. So, as soon as this is perceived, meaning the Jagat is loaded in my head, Asti is there. Asti iti upalabhyate. But also one more thing, that Asti is what? Bhati. It shines. How do I know a leg is a leg? Because it shines. It appears. I understand it. From the standpoint of what? Chit. So Sat and Chit. So our inner world of thoughts, impressions, emotions, anger, fear, peace, calm, sorrow, everything, all that is what? Experienced. How is it experienced? Yes, anger is, but anger I am aware of. I am aware of anger. I am aware of fear. I am aware of pain. So it is all right, but I am aware of it. So what is the distance between is, Asti and Bhati? I am aware. What is the distance? No distance. No distance. There is no space. There is no time. Okay, today Asti, tomorrow Bhati. No. No distance, no space, no time. In fact, the Shruti also cannot keep up with this reality. Even the Shruti has to say, tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat. And that tva pratyaya is used to say, after the completion of one action, another action has begun. Is there a completion here? No completion. Then there is no after. There is nothing after. It's all happening simultaneously. But our minds cannot catch up with this because it is not an object of the mind. Our language definitely has to lag behind. Language, the N should be silent. Language, that which lags in terms of our explaining, understanding of the unobjectifiable through words. So even the Shruti is forced to use the word tva, srishtva, Having created everything, it entered into all the nooks and crannies and all the spaces. But really speaking, it's not that first banaya, fir andar gaya. No, it's not that it made it and then entered. No, nothing like that. It's all a seamless flow, a stream of consciousness that never comes to an end. So we have discussed Sat and Chit, and that which never comes to an end. How long are you a thinker? Keeping on thinking, keeping on thinking, keeping on thinking now. Keeping on shining, Chit, 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 keeping on shining that light of awareness to all things that is happening outside, all things that is happening inside. When are you shining the light of awareness? Now. And then this light of awareness is now, 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 now. This now is totally free of sorrow, totally free of everything that it objectifies, totally free of limitations, totally free of everything. And then, if you want to challenge that, I'll just ask a simple question. Are you sad now? If you take so long to think that now will go, then now has gone and 3 other nows have come. Are you sad now? How about now? How about now? How about now? Even if somebody says yes, I will say that was then, this is now. You can never be sad now. This is Ananda, Ananta. That Ananta is itself Ananda. And so this whole thing, this Satchidananda, has to necessarily be understood, has to necessarily be known from 2 standpoints. One, from the standpoint of nothing is outside of it, and then second, from the standpoint of it is free of everything. Nothing is outside of it. This is from the standpoint of things that we can objectify, and it is free of everything from the standpoint of I, Chit. From the standpoint of things, it is seen from the standpoint of Sat, and from the standpoint of Chit, seen as I. It is free of everything. When I say, that means what? I am free of everything. And if I am free of everything, all the pains, all the sorrows, then I become what? Ananta, Ananda. This is how this whole section unfolds. And with this background, it will go very, very quickly. So then, Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, this we have seen. Next one. Bahihi Antahacha Bhutana. Again contradictory. Bahihi means what? Inside, correct? Outside. Antaha. Antaha, within. Bhutana, of all beings. And then Charam, Acharam, Acharam, Charamevacha. Acharam means not moving. Charam, moving. Then the question comes, how come I don't know this? Sukshmatvat tad avigneyam. Because it is so subtle, people miss it. That's why it's the best kept secret. What's the best kept secret? It is openly available everywhere, but still people don't understand, even after being told. Shrutva api naveda kaschit. This is why it is Rajaguhyam. We saw in the 9th chapter. Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, king of secrets. And then, so Sukshmatvat tad avigneyam. And then Durastham. Durastham means what? Very, very far away. And Antike cha tat. Antike means very, very near. This is just a open plagiarism of the 4th and 5th verses of Ishavasya Upanishad. Tadejati tannejati tadbhure tadvantike. Even the words are the same. Tadantasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyasya bhakyatah. Tat ejati. Ejru company moves. That moves. Oh, okay, it moves. Let me note it down. Tanna ejati. Oh, let me rub it out. It doesn't move. Tad dure. It is very far away. Okay, let me write it down. Always bring pencil to Vedanta class, okay? Yeah, because many edits will be there. Don't take everything that you see as write it down at face value. You have to listen to the whole thing. So, tad dure, okay, wrote it down. It is very, very far. Oh, no wonder I never understood what Brahman is. Bahut dur hai. Some people look up also and get a neck pain. After that, you have to massage the neck after looking up for Bhagavan. Tad dure. No, tadvantike. Tadu antike. Tadvantike. So, antike means what? Nearby only. And Adi Shankara, commenting on this particular verse, says that for the jnani, it is not just near, it is the nearest and dearest thing. In fact, it is herself, himself, non-separate from oneself. Same thing, the words Upanishad, Upani, that, Upa, Samipe. Near to what? It's a relative thing. Near means what? From the standpoint of Rishikesh, ashram is near. From the standpoint of Uttarakhand, Rishikesh is near. From the standpoint of India, Uttarakhand is near. It keeps shifting. Here, near means it is immediate. Immediately known as I because of that self-effulgent consciousness, self-evident I. So now what is the verdict? Does it move? Does it not move? Huh? Yeah. It both moves. This is how you have to say it. It both moves and doesn't move because it neither moves nor it doesn't move. Because of its presence, everything that should move moves. Because of its presence, everything that should not move does not move. Try telling this at home after going back next month. They will say, what have you done for 6 months? Kya kiya? So, but it will be fun. Okay? You'll have a good time. So it's not that it doesn't move, because see, we can't put a peg on this and start hammering. This is, if you try to put something, nail it down. It's not like how that, pinning the tail on the donkey. The children's game is there. You blindfold the child and there is a picture of a donkey and then there is a tail given and you have to pin it there. Pinning the tail on the donkey. And the child is blindfolded and the child is made to turn around. So you don't even know where the board is, where the donkey is drawn, where I have to, one small tail like thing will be given with some cello tape and that you have to attach. Some tape, sticky tape will be given. And so the child will go and attach it to the ear of the next child because it can't see where it is going. It's hilarious. Similarly, trying to pin the tail on Brahman is not possible. Why? Brahman is the tail. Brahma puchcham pratishtha. This is what. Brahman is already the tail. You can't pin the tail on Brahman. Whatever you try to, the pin is Brahman, tail is Brahman, horse or donkey is Brahman, the child is Brahman, the game is Brahman, the blindfold is Brahman, everything is Brahman. So therefore you cannot pin Brahman as, okay, tell me now definitely, does it move, does it not move? The answer has to be a long answer. It is not outside of that which moves, it includes that which does not move. Itself, we cannot call it stationary because it is not in one place, and we cannot call it moving because it is not going anywhere. Stationary, even when we say Brahman is still is from the standpoint of my own restlessness. Still means what? This is not, this is a pair of dyads, opposite, total opposites. So now, whether Brahman moves or not, we are going to move along to the next verse. Okay? So, avibhaktam cha bhuteshu, vibhaktam iva cha sthitam. And then, bhuta bhartru cha tad jneyam. Grasishnu Prabhavishnu cha. This is again a beautiful verse. Swarupa Lakshana in the first line, Tatastha Lakshana in the second line. Very beautiful. Avibhaktam, undivided. Avibhaktam means it is indivisible. Ekameva dvitiyam. Shvetaketu was told right at the beginning of the 6th chapter of the Chandogya Upanishad. Non-divisibly one, indivisibly one. And then avibhaktam. And then what? Its nature is avibhaktam, indivisible, but cha bhuteshu vibhaktam ivasthitam. Among the bhutas, when you look at the manifest universe, starting with what? Bhutas, 5 elements, bhautikas. That which is born, bhutebhyaha jatam bhautikam, that which is born of 5 elements, everything including our bodies, minds, senses, all of it is what? Born of 5 elements. So when we look at it from the standpoint of the 5 elements, what do we get? That which is divided. Akasha is not Vayu, Vayu is not Agni, Agni is not Apaha, Apaha is not Prithvi, everything is different, different, different. And each being is different from the other. And if we look at all the people, if we just confine our example to people, if we look at the people at large, I can be neutral. I need not have raga towards them or dvesha towards them. They are just people. Like just go outside the ashram, people are walking. Somebody is buying something, somebody is walking, somebody is going on the motorbike, somebody is sitting there on the and having tea. You have no opinion. They are just neutral. But you start to get to know them. Very soon it will be either a favorable opinion, especially in the beginning, and after that what? Unfavorable opinion. The more you get to know them, the more chance for unfavorable opinion. So then that vibhajanam, the division is taken seriously, which is why I don't understand, which is why I make the mistake of seeing everything as discrete, whereas its swarupa is what? Its swarupa is avibhaktam. Avibhaktam, that is the swarupa. Swarupa lakshanataya avibhaktam yat. But bhuteshu vibhaktam, it doesn't say vibhaktam sthitam. Where is that small word? Vibhaktam iva. Don't miss that iva. Iva is everything. Iva means what? As though divided. So because of my association, there is raga dvesha. And there is the forgetting that this is what is the truth. Even after studying, I forget, it's all the same. Oh, but this one is quirky. Okay, the quirk belongs to what? Brahman or the personality? Like a table with like a loda table. It shakes from this side to that side. Like this always. You write on it and it is dancing from side to side to its own tune. So this kind of a table, is it the property of the wood or is it the property of the table? Table. It's the property of the, maybe it's the age, maybe it's the wrong carpentry, who knows? It's the property of not the wood. The wood is not shaking. What is shaking? Table is shaking. So similarly, the attribute of the personality cannot be superimposed on what? The indivisible Brahman. This person is quirky, it doesn't belong to Purusha. It belongs to what? The Antahkarana. It is Antahkarana property of the Antahkarana. What kind of property? Eva property, as though property. It's nothing to do with Brahman. And what is Brahman? Ishvara. Bhuta Bhrit, the sustainer of everything, because of without whom there is nothing there at all. And then what? Grasishnu. Grasishnu means the great swallower. Swallower of what? Names and forms. Nothing. Just like when you wake up, the dream world is swallowed up. In the dream, you're just whipping somebody into shape, literally. You have a nice whip and you're beating them up, running after them. And then you wake up. What happened to the person? What happened to the whip? What happened to your own jubilation? The feeling, aha, I got them. All gone. All gone. And then Grasishnu, Prabhavishnu. Prabhavishnu means the creator of everything. Grasishnu, the swallower of everything. In between Prabhavishnu and Grasishnu, Bhuta Bhrit, the one who sustains all the beings. This is from the standpoint of the form and function of Ishvara as though. And what is that? Sustainer, creator, resolver, the great resolver. And see, the Ishnuch is a pratyaya. Ishnuch, that means always. Grasishnu, always the swallower, always the creator. Not that one person creates and the other person swallows. It's the same Bhagavan. Very beautiful. One more verse is there. We'll see that in the afternoon class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.